Hello, everybody. I am Demetra Kaye, and I hope that you are having a great day. Thank you for joining me here on the African Diaspora News Channel, where you can find me Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Again, Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And of course, on my own channel, you can find me Sunday through Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Time. Again, Sunday through Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Time. Today, we're going to be talking about Reverend Al Sharpton being crowned the new civil rights leader of America. I have a video to show you, and we're going to get into some pretty interesting things. I think this is really going to be a good one. So, again, thank you for joining me here. But as we wait for everybody else to trickle on in, I don't have that many promos today. I should, but I don't have the time. But I do want to tell y'all about our African Diaspora News Channel app that you can go to your Google or your Apple Play Store to get. Again, it is Black owned and created for you by us and all that other stuff. Of course, it is delivering you the news you can use. You will not get this type of news on ABC, NBC, Fox, or any of the other alphabets out there. You will get the news and all the other things that are trending, not just in the United States, but all over the diaspora. From our point of view, like many of us are just learning that Julius Malema of the EFF was sentenced to 5 years. That is unfolding. From what I understand, it was due to being accused of fraud and things like that. I'm sure you'll hear more about that here on this channel, as that's not, my forte per se, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to talk about it. You probably won't hear a lot about that on the mainstream media. So again, please go to Google or your Apple Play Store to get the African Diaspora News Channel app. All right. So for the sake of time, and I'll say hello to everybody after I'm done, we are going to get into it. So, of course, you guys know that last week, Reverend Al Sharpton had his annual convention, the National Action Network, to be exact, the 35th year. It's been in existence since 1991. And they had their convention in New York City, where a whole host of people were invited to speak. Of course, the former Vice President Kamala Harris, she delivered a speech where we learned that it seems like she's kind of shifting her views on asking something for your vote, right? She says, get yours. And I keep telling y'all, I'm going to use that as a soundbite. But she basically said, make voting transactional. It was just so many people. It seems like a lot of Democrat people showed up, civil rights organizations and things like that. Of course, we know infamously that there was a video that came from Melrose Mike, who got on the mic and basically said that we want our reparations, right? And then, of course, Reverend Al Sharpton had to do a little bit of backpedaling and saying, hey, he's stupid and he's ignorant, okay? So that's where all that took place. But, of course, we're learning a little bit more as, again, it went on for a couple of days. And I actually saw this video trending a little bit yesterday, and I said, okay, I'm going to talk about it. So what you're going to see is that of Reverend Al Sharpton being crowned, in a sense, the new civil rights leader of America by attorney Benjamin Crump. Now, the theme of the National Action Network convention was straightening out tricks in 2026. So I'm not quite sure what those tricks are or who. But anyway, I'm going to show y'all the video, and then we're going to really do some deep diving here.
35 years. Good morning, Nan. Y'all give it up for my mentor, my co-counsel, a man who always answers the bell. He's been answering the bell for 35 years for Black America. Y'all give it up for our civil rights leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton. Y'all can do better than that. Y'all get on your feet, Reverend Al Sharpton. And before I let him go, now more than ever, especially since our mentor, Reverend Jesse Jackson, transitioned, we have to now be more intentional than ever when we get an opportunity to give flowers to those trailblazers who led the way for so many of us. I don't want ever to miss an opportunity to tell Reverend Al how much he means to Black America now more than ever. More than ever. And the last thing I would say is, there are times when we pass the torch And Reverend Jackson, he often blushes about how Reverend Jackson mentored him. I have to believe, Reverend Al, that Reverend Jesse Jackson was awfully proud but awfully at peace knowing that there was somebody to pass the torch to a new civil rights leader for America for these times such as these. Y'all, again, let's thank Reverend Al for taking the torch and being our civil rights leader for the United States of America.
Okay, so again, that was Attorney Benjamin Crump, and I want to say too, that should probably set the tone a little bit earlier. I don't want to disrespect Reverend Al Sharpton. That's not where this is coming from. I know there's a lot of criticism for Al Sharpton, and y'all know I have a lot, right? I've actually spoken to him a few times on his radio show and things like that. But y'all saw there that was Attorney Benjamin Crump, who crowned him the new civil rights leader of the United States of America. And I will say this. I would say definitely the Al Sharpton back in the day. Y'all remember Al Sharpton back in the day? He was about that life, right? Of course, we know that he's been around since, Martin Luther King and, yes, mentored by Reverend Jesse Jackson, who went on not too long ago on to glory. And things like that. And so again, and it kind of seemed like Al Sharpton, maybe, I don't know, he was a little bit uncomfortable as Benjamin Crump was crowning him the new civil rights leader of America. But when you think about civil rights leader, right? Or let's say civil rights, because a lot of people don't even know what that is, right? Because I don't know. So basically, civil rights are legally guaranteed positive entitlements that ensure individuals receive equal treatment and protection from discrimination in public and private life, regardless of race, gender, religion, or personal characteristics, right? So that's the blanket meaning of it. Now, of course, I guess when we started hearing about civil rights, I would have been in the 50s, 60s type of thing. Of course, our ancestors have probably been my parents, my grandparents type of thing. There was segregation, Jim Crow. Our people weren't even 100 years at that time off the plantation and things like that. So yes, civil rights was in hot pursuit, and that was for Black Americans. Let's just keep it a buck, right? That was meant for us. I know that it's kind of been hijacked by everybody else, but the origin of it was for us. So they were pursuing integration, just things, equality, right? Did we achieve that? I don't know. As a Black American here in 2026, a lot of us will say, well, I don't feel like civil rights pertains to me, right? Let's say here, there's was supposed to be equal treatment and, protections from discrimination in public and private life. I can't say that we have achieved that as Black Americans, but that was the pursuit nevertheless. Now, when I think about a leader, okay, this is the blanket definition of a leader. A leader is an individual who guides, inspires, or manages a group, team, or organization toward a common goal. They influence others through vision, empathy, and accountability, often empowering them to achieve results they would not achieve alone. A leader focuses on people rather than just tasks. Now, there's a couple of words I want to kind of go into just briefly. One of the words or phrases rather is common goal, right? We're supposed to be going somewhere. A leader takes somebody somewhere. They lead us somewhere favorable, right? Somewhere where we're gonna, I don't know, evolve or whatever it is. We're gonna get something. We're gonna achieve something. Now, again, I'm not trying to disrespect Al Sharpton because I believe he has done a lot of things. But where is he going to lead us? Where has he been leading us, right? Because as we see Reverend Al Sharpton now, it seems like he kind of wants to keep us on the Democratic plantation. Again, thinking about somebody like Melrose Mike, who was basically saying, hey, we as Black Americans, we want our just due, right? We want our check. And then he got up there to basically call him stupid and ignorant, and blame the rest of us for not voting hard enough, long enough for the right people in and put them in office to get us reparations. Now, the other day, I debunked that. That's a lie. We voted for everybody from Barack Obama. Kamala Harris was trying to get in there, right? She wasn't successful, but she was the vice president. And just a whole host of other people in there. And it's like, at what point do we need to do more? We don't, right? So he admonished Melrose Mike. All right. So then you go to influence. A leader influences other people. They influence other people to also lead, to take the baton, if you will, and carry it, and then continue to lead. That's what leaders do. I don't know. I don't know if Al Sharpton is necessarily doing that, but Ben Crump says that he is, because that was his mentor. Okay. Um, and some other things. So I just kind of wanted to point those things out. Let me remove that. Now, these are just some of the people, okay? Just some of the people that I can think of that when I hear the word leader, this is who comes to mind. Y'all bear with me, and y'all can throw some of your own in the chat if you like. As you can see, that's the Honorable Marcus Garvey, who indeed was a leader. Of course, in the early 1900s, he founded the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association, where he was trying to get Black folks all over the diaspora to come together for one common goal. And it was often been said, up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. He wanted us to do for self and not rely on the oppressor and things like that. It is said that when he and the UNIA was at its glory, he inspired about 3 to 6 million Black folks all over the world. This is before television. I don't know, it was a telephone probably around at the time, but social media, any of that other stuff, right? There was lots of people who was like, yeah, you know what, I can dig it. Of course, we know what happened with that. It was somebody who looked like us that helped take him down with COINTEL, FBI. His name just skipped my mind, but you guys will throw it in the chat. It just skipped my mind, but y'all throw in his name. Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover. Got so much in my head. Okay, so that's who I think of as a leader. Somebody was saying, hey, bump all of that. In fact, he was trying to take us to where? Liberia. Let's blow this joint. There's nothing left here for us. And he built a whole host of things, right? Factories, newspaper, just you name it. Black folks are excited. We were going to be on the up and up. But of course, we know what happened with that. Now, listen, I know some of y'all have been told that it's not fashionable anymore to, follow the teachings of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, but I'll let y'all, do what you're going to do with that. Okay. Now, moving right along. Of course, we have the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who founded the Nation of Islam in 1930, and he was inspired and taught by Master Farad Muhammad. And from that point, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad built a nation, inspired Black men and women all over, not just the United States, but all over the world. Brought Black men and women from, places that weren't so desirable to being upstanding through the FOI and the MGT, and just, basically taught us to do for self. That's what he was trying to teach us anyway, right? And a lot of us are adhering to those teachings. But as a lot of people said, man, imagine if our people would have listened to his teachings a long time ago. We wouldn't be having this conversation anymore, now would we? We'd be doing for self. That means we're not relying on anybody, no Democrat, no Republican, the white man, nobody, right? We're dependent on ourselves. We're doing it ourselves. We're not giving all of our resources away. We are building our communities, our own jobs, our schools, you name it, right? Just like Marcus Garvey was trying to do, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad also did that by building a nation. Okay, now let's see. I have a list for y'all. And he also said, before I go on to the next one, how in the world can we have civil rights if we are not thought of as a human, right? We got to have human rights first. Now, the definition of human rights is the fundamental freedoms and entitlement that belong inherently to every person simply by virtue of being human, regardless of nationality, sex, race, religion, or any other status. These rights are universal, inalienable, and indivisible. Meaning they cannot be taken away and are equally important. They encompass a broad range of civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights designed to ensure individuals can live with dignity, equality, and freedom. That's human rights, okay? So as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, yes, civil rights, okay, whatever. But these people that you trying to get you civil rights, they don't even see you as human. You gotta have that one first, right? All right, moving right along. Of course, y'all know who that is. That's brother Minister Malcolm X, who was also inspired by that of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because what do leaders do? They inspire, they teach, right? The most important thing I think people need to understand is leaders teach other leaders to do the same thing. Now, of course, y'all know the story of Malcolm X, but again, he was inspired by the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad when he was incarcerated for doing some things that he shouldn't have been doing. And so with that, he came out a different man, right? That's I guess one of the missions of the Nation of Islam is to improve black men and women. And Malcolm X was improved, and of course, he went on all over, right? He was a spokesperson, if you will, for the Nation of Islam, teaching the messages, was unapologetic, unafraid, and all of those things. Of course, we know what happened with him, but he also took the nation from where it was. Now, when I say it was, I'm talking about in numbers as far as the amount of people that joined, right? At that time, the most people, well, there's more now, but I'm saying at that time, I joined the nation, and that's due to Malcolm X going and getting in front of microphones and television and things like that, shaking up black men and women with the teachings by saying, hey, there's better for us. Okay, we should expect better for us and from us. So again, when I think of a leader, that's who I think about. All right, moving right along, because I got quite a few up here. We have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Okay, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was the leader of the Southern Leader Conference, the pastor of Ebenezer Church there in Atlanta. And of course, we know that he was considered, I guess, maybe one of the triple OGs of civil rights movement, where he wanted equality and things like that for all. He had the ear of not just the nation, but the world. Everybody was looking to him for leadership, true leadership, I would say. Then, of course, we know right before he was taken from us, he woke up because infamously he says, I have a dream, right? Many say he woke up from that dream and said, hey, I fear that I've been leading my people into a burning house. I'm going to Washington to get our check, right? Well, we know what happened with that. So these are the people that I deem to be leaders. I'm just, pointing some things out because Al Sharpton has been crowned the new civil rights leader of America. Then, of course, we have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who took leadership of the Nation of Islam in 1978 and brought it to where it is. And he, taught by the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a copious amount of men and women, and inspired the nation, not just the Nation of Islam, right? But United States of America and all over the world, okay? And the beautiful part about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, now we don't see him much. He's not speaking much. He's still around, strong, healthy, and everything like that. But what I love is it's not just Black folks who are mirroring and parroting, if you will, his teachings. You see white people, not that they're the litmus test, but, they were taught that, oh, he's an evil man. But now we're seeing so many of them. I saw a video of a white guy. He says, I am studying the teachings of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I was like, say what now? He had a picture of Master Farad Muhammad, and I think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as well behind him as he was speaking. I was like, what's really going on here, right? All up on X, you're seeing them say, oh, he was right. Oh, they taught us that he was an evil person. And, I can't really get into that here for obvious reasons. Now on the app, I could get into some of those things, but they're saying he was right. Y'all know what he was right about. We won't get into that. But when I think of a leader, that's who I think about. Okay, again, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is still with us and has inspired so many. You name it, they have been inspired by him. Okay, where else do we want to go? Because like I said, I could have been here forever. Y'all going to be pleasantly surprised. I promise you I will. You will. Okay. Of course, we have Dr. Claude Anderson, who is also still with us, but he has been telling us to practice group economics, right? Stop giving all our money away. Right now, we give 97% of almost $2 trillion away. And he says, hey, stop that. Practice group economics, through his book, Powernomics, who I think most people recite infamously or not so infamously all the time, but basically telling us that we have to build our own businesses. Again, the messages from Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he's just really adding to that, saying, do y'all know we give all this money away and then we cry about what we don't have, and we are begging people to do for us when we could just pool our money together and we could build our own businesses, hospitals, schools, and things like they did, Black Wall Street. Back then, it was about 1,200 Black towns that we had, and we were doing those things. Of course, we know what happened with that, but we need to get back with that. There is no excuses. We had all these good leaders and teachings, of telling us what to do, giving us the blueprint, with all of their books. You have the Message to the Black Man in America. I mean, just you name it. Okay. If you want to learn how to eat to live, volumes 1 and 2, I got all these books right here. I won't get them right now because it's a big old stack, but we have all these good teachings. And so with all this leadership, why are we now hearing that Al Sharpton is being crowned the civil rights? I'm not, let me stop laughing. That crowned the civil rights leader of America. It's like, well, we have some and we've had some. I didn't know. Was there a vacancy? I know that Reverend Jesse Jackson has gone on, and I will say that he was a leader, because the one thing about Jesse Jackson, he taught us that I am somebody. And that was very important, because especially back then, we didn't really feel like we did, but we didn't. I mean, being beaten down by everything you can think of in the United States of America. Then, y'all ready for this one? Because I could have been here forever. And listen, I don't want anybody to think, well, where's the women? There's plenty of women. I just, kind of put up a lot of men, but there's a lot of women. But this one here, okay, y'all, who do y'all think I got coming up next? I'll give y'all a couple of seconds to see if somebody can guess who I have coming up next. Let's wait and see. Attorney Benjamin Crump Tito has crowned Al Sharpton that. But who do y'all think I got coming up next? I want to see what y'all got to say. I'm going to wait a couple of seconds. No, not Obama. Okay. Well, I only see y'all say Obama. Y'all ready? Frances Cress Welsing, yes, definitely. I should have put her up here. I thought of her, but they only give me so much space on this thing, right? But yes, what Al Green, Brother Phil Scott. You know why I thought of Brother Phil Scott? He was actually one of the first people that I thought of when I thought about Black leaders, is because I'm going to tell y'all one thing about what we do. And Phil has been doing this, I don't know, probably about 14 years now. I know he was doing some other stuff before, the African Diaspora News Channel. But I put up Brother Phil Scott because he is leading so many people, not just here in the United States, but all over the diaspora. And I say that it's not easy to do what Brother Phil is doing, because what Brother Phil does a lot is go against the status quo. And it's not easy to do that, because when you're waking people up, especially about what the Democrat Party has done to Black Americans and continue to do to Black Americans, a lot of people don't want to hear that. How many times do y'all think he hears, not even a day, but just all day long, right? Oh, you this, you that, you that. Because when you're trying to bring people, our people off of that plantation, it's not easy. Brother Phil Scott, I know he talks about other things, but do you know the things that he could talk about? He could tap out and say, you know what? It ain't worth it. Because a lot of people have. A lot of people said it ain't worth it. A lot of our people don't want to wake up. But the good news is, don't put Kamala up in here. Good news is, a lot of people are waking up due to his leadership, right? I'm inspired by Brother Phil. I know there's all the people on this channel are inspired by Brother Phil. You could go all up and down, social media and everywhere else. Sometimes when I'm out in the airport or wherever it is, hey, tell Brother Phil I said hi. What about me? I'm just kidding, but you know what I'm saying? So he's very influential, and it takes a lot to lead people, as I said, off of the Democratic plantation that don't want to go. It's a hard job. It's a hard job. And there's a million things he could be doing, but he chooses to do that. And as I said the other day, and I said, and I always say, this is not easy, because you do get a lot of ridicule. You get called a lot of names, but when you stand at 10 toes down for your people, in spite of it all, that takes true leadership. Because what happens is, especially in this space, and I would even say with Al Sharpton, is a lot of people sell out. Y'all don't think Brother Phil Scott has gotten an offer here and there? Hey, here's a little something, something, whatever. Y'all don't think he has? Of course he has, right? But it takes a leader and somebody to stand on their square and say, no, I'm good. Because I'm not about to sell my people. I don't care how much you got. I'm not going to do that. My people deserve the truth. See, what you'll offer me is priceless. Is you could put a price tag on that, but me waking my people up, regardless of what's going on, that's priceless. There's no amount of money you could pay me to not want to wake my people up. So when I think of a leader, I think of Brother Phil Scott. Now, this next one is near and dear to my heart. Yes, it is, Lord. My daddy. Right now, I could have found a picture of him when he was older, but I really like this picture. I actually had to go through a lot of work to extract this picture. But that's my father, Brother Walter X, who was also in the Nation of Islam until his last breath. He joined in when he was 19, so I think like 1963 or something like that. Now he was there, and I should probably put the picture up during the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. A lot of people say, oh, wow, your father was a triple OG foot soldier, right? In the Nation of Islam, where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when he transitioned, went back to Allah, if you will, and then it kind of had some issues. My dad stayed there, right? And then the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan came in 1978 and kaboom, right? It went to where it is now. But I put my father because my father taught me a lot. I was born into the Nation of Islam, for those of y'all who don't know. But I learned so many things from my father. I'm often told, oh, you're very smart and you know a lot. Well, that comes from my mother and my father. But I had a father, a good father in every sense of the word. When I said everybody loved my dad, of course, you guys know that he passed away in December, but everybody loved my dad. Even on his deathbed, if you will, physically transitioning from here, and they were doing the prayer over his body. The brothers were just, oh gosh, they were just inconsolable, just crying and weeping, saying, please don't leave, stay here, right? And I had conversations with so many brothers at his janazah. One of them said, do you know that your father put my first, let me see if I have it up here. I do, but it's how my books are going to fall over. But my first message to the black man in America, he said he put that in my hand. He said, from that, I've never been the same. He says, your father, taught so many people. And I tell you, everybody knew and loved my dad. My dad, even, he passed away of Parkinson's. That's ultimately what happened to him. But even up until he left out of here, he was putting a final call in people's hand and, trying to talk to them, giving them books. I'm telling you, all the books that I have, my father, every time I would see him, he would give me a book. Here, read this. You got to read that. You got to read this. You got to read that. And so, my father has taught me. I don't call myself a leader at all, but he inspired me to want to do this. My dad was a great orator. He spoke all the time. Just a great guy all around. Now, like I put my dad in there because a lot of times when we think about a leader, we think about somebody who's grand, that the whole world knows them. No, we got to start paying homage to the people that we know, like our fathers and our brothers and our uncles and our mamas and our aunties and our grandmas. Those people, because they have led us to great places. And so, honestly, y'all, I could have been here forever and ever, talking about the people I deem to be leaders. Now, again, I'm not trying to disrespect Al Sharpton. I think Al Sharpton, again, when he was a younger man, surely he was about that life, right? He was a firecracker, right? He was giving them the blues, but I don't know what happened. I don't want to speculate. A lot of times when people start singing a new tune per se, some people say, well, maybe they got that little white envelope, right? That it's like, here, how much is it going to cost you to, not do that? Hmm. Oh wow, it's a lot of zeros on there. You mean all this is for me? Hmm. All I got to do is stop trying to wake black people up. And all this is my, yeah, well, there's some other things you got to do, but yeah, you definitely got to stop talking like that, because we know that one of the greatest threats to America is black unity. Okay. We can't have them thinking what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that black unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. No, 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 no. You can't be talking like that. We need black people, especially here in America. We need them asleep. Because see, when they're asleep, we'll have a loyal voter base. They'll spend all of their money with us. Okay. 97%. Look at it. There's a lot of zeros on there. They'll spend that 97% of all that they earn. And now some they say $2 trillion is what they'll spend all of that with you if you just, with us, rather, if you shh, don't wake them up. Okay. We want them to be forever beggars. We want them to beg for everything they need and want. We want them to beg us to teach them knowledge of self. We're not going to teach it to them, but we'll do, we'll talk about Harriet Tubman, and she was a leader, right? I should have put her up here. She was that. You will teach about that, but we'll water it down to the Underground Railroad. She was a feeble old lady, and we know that she wasn't, right? But that's the story they tell us. And she took 2 or 3 black folks. It was a lot, right? So we can't have you waking them up. We need them to always beg us to, better their communities, right? Do y'all ever hear Al Sharpton say, hey, let's stop giving our money away? Let's recycle the dollars more than 6 hours. Let's build a grocery store. Let's build 2, 3, 4 grocery stores. Let's build our own hospital. Let's build our own schools, independent of the white school system. Do y'all ever hear him say that? Right? Again, I'm not trying to, disrespect him, but I'm just saying, when I think about a black leader, I don't think about somebody who keeps us stuck. I don't think about somebody who says stay, voting for a group of people who will never be for you. There was a situation that happened in New York City the other day, and the brother's name is Brown, Mr. Brown, where he was beaten within an inch of his very life by the New York Police Department. They were undercover. He was in a bodega. They ran up in there, snatched him up. The brother didn't even know what happened. I mean, when I tell you they slammed him here and there and they drug him, I mean, just did this brother dirty. Wrote up all these charges, and they dropped all the charges. And he says, I didn't know what was happening to me. I thought I'm happy to be here because I thought they were going to take my life. I ain't heard them talk about that yet. Maybe he has now. I ain't heard hardly no Democrats at all. I saw Zoran Mondani, the mayor of New York. He made a statement. He's like, oh no, we don't treat people like that. But other than that, I tweeted about it. I said the Democrat Party, they get the most support from black voters, and they are silent. I said, I guess it needed to be an ICE raid or something that happened, right? So when I think about a leader, I think about somebody who's going to go out there and not just protest. Listen, I know Al Sharpton is about to protest, and I'm not about to be out there marching. I'm sorry. I'm not about to be out there marching and protesting when we could protest with our black dollars and stop buying into this oppressive system, right? Up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will, do for self, practice group economics, right? Get in these books, turn these TV off, and sometimes social media. Y'all need to see us on social media though, right? But turn those things off and really get educated. Educate your own children, right? Build your own school. Stop letting people like the Al Sharptons and the Democrats and all these other shields tell you that, oh, Trump is taking the black books out to school. All right, so what? He taking the black books out to school. You ain't got the black books, and at home. Now, this is just some of them. Y'all, this is some of the books that I have. Some of the books that I have here. I didn't get none of these books, right? I ain't getting none of these books from no library. Ain't no white people put these books in my hand. None of them. All of these books. Now I gotta put them back down. Okay, y'all bear with me, but I didn't get none of these books from Trump. I didn't get none of these books from no Republicans. I didn't get them from no Democrats. I didn't get it from Al Sharpton. I got these from people like my daddy, who's a true black leader. Okay, so when I say we, I mean Ben Crump is putting a crown on somebody's head, and he calling him a civil rights leader. Are you sure about that? And that's really an admonishment to us. You know why? Because there's a lot of us who will believe that foolishness. Oh, he's the new civil. No. We always need to ask, where are we being led to? Where are you leading us to? Better yet, what are you trying to keep us tied to? You trying to keep us to the Democratic plantation or all the other plantations that rob us of us knowledge of self and doing for self? If that's what civil rights leaders do, I don't want no part of that. And you shouldn't either. So anyway, let me jump in the comment section. Thank you, Brian, for that. Yes, my father was a good man. I miss him dearly every day. Yes, I do. Thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. Listen, every bit helps that y'all donate to this channel. It helps so we can continue to grow and spread the words, or whatever it is we need to do. So that is much appreciated. Thank you so much. Let's see. Going all the way to the top so I can say hello. Albie Chill, what's going on with you? Clive, I see you. Yeah, you had some interesting comments, but you said the ages are doing well in tech, Google, Microsoft, etc. Al Sharpton, crowned for human rights, should be crowned for keeping Black people back. Yeah, again, we're not trying to be disrespectful, but yeah, I've never thought of Al Sharpton as a civil rights leader. Because for one, and again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I listen to Al Sharpton. I'm like, you just be lying sometimes. This is straight up lying. I listen to his radio show on Sundays, and I'm like, why would you lead Black people astray? I get it. Like I said, how many zeros was on allegedly? Because we know that Kamala gave him 500 large, okay? But how many zeros is on that money they gave you to sell out or buy in? I don't know, right? So yeah, let's see. Crawford, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, yeah, it was me. Yeah, I heard about him being an FBI informant allegedly. I didn't go too far into the weeds with that, but that's what I heard. Simply Sandra, what's going on with you? Grand rising to you as well. First class citizen in the building. How you doing, Kevin? Hope you're having a great day. King Noble, what's going on with you? Brother Steven, how are you? Tell your wife I said hello. Says I didn't get a chance to tell you happy birthday. Well, I thank you so much for that. I turned 55. Double nickels on Monday, and it's such a blessing to be here. I tell you it is, and I hope that I get 55 more. Like 110. Well, I want to be 110. Yeah, I think I'll be all right at 110. I went to the gym today, and I was like, man, I could do jumping jacks, and it doesn't hurt. So thank you for that. Fahima, what's going on with you? Says Demetra Nan has over 140 chapters across the United States. Okay. That's nice. 140 chapters. Now, I'm not saying they don't do anything, okay? But Black leader and the mission is not just for Blacks. It's for all, genders and all kind of stuff. And that's fine. 140 chapters. But can anybody in here say that you have benefited, right? Great. There's a lot of buildings, okay? There's a lot of buildings. There's a lot of chapters all over. There's churches all over. Does that mean that all of them are conducive? The Black neighborhood probably got more churches than schools, okay? It's often the nicest building in the community. Then when you look at the community, it's like, is some of that money that's going into church coming into the community? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? So again, I'm not trying to run Al Sharpton law. Great. He has 140 chapters. Okay. I also know that had to leave the building that they were in for probably almost 35 years because they didn't own it. They're buying a new building now. Hmm. But yes, thank you for reminding me of that. Motru, what's going on with you? Luther, how you doing? Says hello. Rev, God bless you. Yes, God bless Reverend Al Sharpton. We don't wish him any ill will at all. CC Love, what's going on with you? Says lead us where to pasture. Well, are we being led anywhere by Al Sharpton? And now this is an honest question. It's not being disrespectful. This is an honest question. Are we being led anywhere? I'm asking y'all. Y'all correcting me if I'm wrong. If Al Sharpton has personally led you somewhere, I mean, with 140 chapters, the Black community, I mean, if we're going by buildings, the Black community should be far better off than we are, right? I'm just asking. Clown, did I say hi to you? If not, hello, hello. Brother Jesse, what is going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Trenton, what's going on? He says a 71-year-old civil rights, new civil rights leader. Well, you know, Al Sharpton's been in the game a long time, but being crowned a new civil rights leader is absolutely crazy. Virginia, how you doing? Says no. Jamal, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says no, thank you. Scoop, how are you? Says, oh, wow. John, how you doing? He says Al Sharpton is not a pastor. I don't know. He's had that moniker for a very long time. I mean, I've heard him preach, you know. Sounds like he's a pastor to me. I don't know if he, has some paperwork. I don't know. I haven't really gone that far into the weeds, but I know that he's been calling himself a reverend for a long time. So I'll call him that. I don't have a problem with our thinking of him as a reverend. Um, Mary, how you doing? Says Al Sharpton is a fraudster. He has done nothing for the community. Well, I don't want to say he's done nothing, right? The old school Al Sharpton used to be about that life for real. I mean, he get them people to business. He I think they call him loudmouth, right? When I hear people call in, sometimes they'll say, "Hey, loudmouth." So I think that's kind of a term of endearment for him. But yeah, he wasn't a quiet man. He's not a quiet man now. He's quieter, right? I got a lot of zeros in there. I don't know. Allegedly. Google Dodd, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Jimbo, what's going on with you? Says that's a lie. He ain't no better than Jesse Jackson, who renamed us African American, knowing that we were really American Indians. See, y'all really mad about that African American thing, huh? And then there's a lot of argumentation as to are we really Indians? Listen, that's out of that's not my wheelhouse at all of that. I see the discussion about it. I don't even go that far into the weeds, but I hear what you're saying. But yeah, I see a lot of people really mad that he called us African Americans. Gerald, how you doing? He says the gatekeepers always discredit you when you speak up for yourself. This dirty low down, golly, FBI snitch does not speak for me. The man who introduced him was right. We can do better than that. Oh, you mean what Benjamin Crump told everybody to stand up and applaud? I think Al Sharpton probably he was a little uncomfortable with that too, because it seems like he was kind of like trying to hurry him along type thing, like, okay. So I don't know. Call Fuchsia, how you doing? Hope I said that right. He says, okay, Crump crown him. Shouldn't the people crown him? Side-eyeing these bootlickers. Yeah, I would think so. James, what's going on with you? You say sellouts. The ultimate new player, what's going on with you? Let's see. Texas Barabbas, how you doing? Says Democrats are the enemy of Americans, but champions and defenders of illegal, and I'll say immigrants. Yeah. Democrats do not pay Black Americans any mind at all. None. I saw what's her face? Representative Jaya Paul, the one that wants to give reparations to immigrants. She was talking about Black women maternal health. I guess that's, I don't know, a thing this month. I don't know. But I saw her tweet about it, and it's like, what about our reparations? She ran around talking about reparations for illegal immigrants, which is crazy, right? King Noble says Ben Crump, aka the ambulance chaser and FBI, the FBI informant Sharpton. Well, I was to say this too about Benjamin Crump. He's a civil rights attorney. His job is to get the money. Is he chasing ambulances? I don't know, maybe, but that's kind of what they do, especially if they're chasing the money. Yeah, his job is to get money. It's not like a defense attorney, I don't think. Uh, Aggie, how you doing? Says make voting transactional again. Uh-oh, come on now. Says really, Kamala, is that how you really feel? Please, with the pandering, Reverend Al, please retire. Yeah, well, you know what though? To me, that says that Kamala, well, they've been listening, but she's listening and she's like, if I'm floating the idea that I might run for president, I'm gonna have to be, right now talking some good stuff. Now you gotta be walking too, right? But she's letting everybody know I hear you. I hear y'all want something for your vote, right? And she was there talking to black folks. So what do we want? We want reparations, we want a hate crime bill, we want a whole lot of things that they just do not seem like they want to give it to us. Now we also know that when she was in office with Biden, they opened those border doors and let everybody in and they get all they can get. While black Americans were constantly being told, no, we ain't got it. Where we get the money and all this other stuff. We saw them give the Asian community a hate crime bill, knowing that black Americans are the most targeted and harmed here in America. FBI statistics, nothing for us. As I said to y'all yesterday, it was on camera. It's trending all over the internet. A black man is lucky to be here. Honestly, he is. The way those officers did that man, plain clothes, mind you, the way they did him, it's amazing that he is still here. They had the wrong man. Didn't want to hear nothing he had to say. Nothing. The wrong man. They treated him like a rag doll. It's, but yet there's no hate crime for us. Nobody's talking about defund the police like they're talking about defund ICE. Now you see that video is like, and they're on modified duty. It's like, no, they need to be in jail. They need to be on Rikers Island for what they did to that man. And I hope that's where they end up. But I don't hear a whole lot of outcry. And, I don't see Representative LaMonica McIvers trying to bust up into no jail cell or the courtroom or any of that other stuff the way black folks are treated in America, like she did with that ICE detention center in New Jersey. I don't see her doing that. So, yeah. Southern Diploma, how you doing? He says, that made my stomach turn. Damn. Okay, and Fahima, you say the NAN has over 140 chapters across the United States since the 90s. They even have youth huddle on HBCU campuses. So this is no revelation. Okay, again, how are we as Black Americans better off? Are we better off that he's trying to keep us on the plantations and beholden to the Democrats who practice benign neglect of us? I'm asking you, and I know I'm belaboring in the comments, but I'm trying to get to the bottom and see if you will answer me. I mean, and I'm not trying to go back and forth with you, so don't take it that way. Brian says, I don't see any sense in tearing the man down, but none of us is more important than the group itself. And as long as we remember that, then it should help us keep matters in perspective. I agree with you. I'm not trying to tear Al Sharpton down at all. When he takes my calls, I think he's gotten on to me. He doesn't take my calls. I think it's a respectful conversation. He's an elder. He's considered an elder to me. So I would never be about the business of disrespecting him. Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And I see you guys' comments, but I want to make sure I try to get to everybody. Cornelius, what's going on? It says, damn, okay, I won't read that, but you know what? Southern diplomat, he says, since he got beat up on Geraldo, I remember that one too. That was crazy. Dave was going on. She says, hopefully the new civil rights leader is in good health. No diabetes, prostate is doing okay. Yeah, one thing about Al Sharpton, he's very open about his exercise regimen, right? He always posts him in the gym. He's lost a lot of weight, right? I think we can concede he's probably lost, I don't know, maybe 200 pounds or something. He's a bigger guy, but he's very small now and he works out and he says he eats very light. And so, yeah, he probably will be around a long time because he doesn't eat like he used to. Sister Charlotte says, Al Sharpton isn't anyone's leader. No one is listening to Al Sharpton. Well, there's a few, right? K-Mac, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says Trump needs to stay in his lane. Where is Trump? Trump's got a lot going on. He's got bit off more than he could chew with this war, messing with the Iranians, and they told him to lead them people alone over there, and he wouldn't listen. I mean, they dragging this man all over the internet, called his wife the Epstein queen. They got these little Lego videos that they do, and they put a video of her and as a Lego figure dancing on the dance floor with a disco ball with Jeffrey Epstein. and they got a song calling going called the Epstein Queen. So yeah, he bit off more than he could chew over there. He has no clue as to what he can do other than wave the white flag. That's what he should do, but he got that key in his back, and they won't let him do it just yet. Black first, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. I'm gonna try my best to get everybody. I'm gonna promise. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? Cedric, how you doing? Says, hey, yeah, once again, we're asking for solutions. What's your platform other than bashing others? Please, you don't vote, so you're all chatter crabs in the barrel. Vote Republican. See what you get. Nothing. It's my Friday, and I'm trying to enjoy my days off, in peace and being nice. So I don't think I'll break out the razor blades and lemon juice. You never heard me say I was a Republican. I'm neither. You, I think you've heard me say that. But again, you are probably one of those people who are very emotional, never logical. You think it's okay that Black folks stay on a plantation where they are seeing not net benefit. They are voting continuously for a party who will not do anything specifically for them. They are the most loyal group of voters to the Democratic Party, and you fix your thumbs to get in this comment section and talk about a Republican. We don't vote for the Republicans the way we do the Democrats, so we're not expecting the Republicans to do for me or to do for us or whatever it is. But the Democrats, they're the ones, they should be breaking their neck to do for the Black voter, but they won't do that because they have gotten you conditioned to not expect nothing for your vote. You think that's okay to, I'ma stick out my arm, I'm gonna, take the infusion, I'm gonna vote blue no matter who. That they got you thinking like that. So don't you come in here trying to get the rest of us stuck on the plantation. I ain't gonna say the other word I want to say, but don't you come in here trying to keep us on the plantation that you too scared to lose, right? It's always the ones with the yellowest belly, with the jelly in their spine, trying to raise up on people who said, no, I ain't gonna do that no more. Right? And you talk about what I do with my platform. What you doing with your platform? Put your platform in the comment section so we can see what you doing. But I guarantee you do run around with your tails between your legs because you're too scared to speak truth to power. What you will do though is take talking points and then you'll repeat that to everybody else who is emotional like you. But see, you met the right one today, baby. Yes, you have. Because you know what? My heart don't pump no Kool-Aid like yours. See, I bet yours pump grape flavored Kool-Aid. Mine don't pump none. So you tell me what you're doing with your platform. And then I might listen. And it better not have nothing to do with keeping Black people on a plantation that has them stuck on, nothingness. Because I tell you, like I said the other day, my name ain't Toby. I'm Kunta Kinte around here. And if I had to do it, yeah, I'd be limping with one foot because I'd always try to escape the plantation. But I bet you got both of your feet. Anyway, skipping down. Hosey, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Crook, what's going on? Said someone said he looks like, nah, I ain't gonna repeat all of that. I'm just gonna say hello to everybody. Said what's going on with you. Let's see who else haven't I seen. Salute, how you doing? Prince, what's going on? He says, who is he going to recruit? He ain't gonna recruit me. Nene, what's going on with you? Hope you're doing well. Alinda, what's up? Ursa, hope you're having a great day. Mr. Divinity. Who else I got on here? I'm laughing at myself, y'all. Pay me, what's going on with you? Yahashadek. I hope I said that right. How you doing? And I see that I'm not gonna get to the bottom. Merciful, what's going on? I'm gonna go all the way. Renz, how you doing? To the bottom. Apologize once again, but again, I'll stop here though. No, I got that one. I got that. Damn, I'm that far behind. Woo! Anyway, it's a good thing that I'm not able to get to all the comments. I do apologize. That means that we're really having a spirited, engaging conversation. So I appreciate y'all for doing that. Hopefully, I know sometimes you guys are talking to each other in there. So we always want to make sure that the conversation is open, is honest. I always want to create a space where we can have conversations because I know there's a lot of platforms where you can't be heard per se, or have your comments read. I've always prided myself to do that because I like to consider the conversation, although you can only hear me, but I can read your comments. But I want you all to always feel included. I know that we're not always gonna agree We're not supposed to, right? On some things we should agree, but that's where we learn from each other. And I don't sit up here as though I'm always right, because I'm not. I make mistakes a lot. Never intentional. As I always tell you, it's never going to be something that I try to mislead people for an agenda. I don't have an agenda. The only agenda that I have, if I have one, is to spread the knowledge that was given to me by all of the leaders that I talked about earlier. That's my only goal, is to disseminate the information that I got it from. And I don't follow everybody. I don't. Sometimes people say, "Have you heard about this person, that person?" I might check them out, but if I don't like what they're talking about, then I don't follow them again. Because I try to be very careful as to what I inculcate into my mind, right? My heart, my spirit, and all that. I try to be very careful. My father used to always say, "You got to guard your mind," right? He says every day you're in a fight for your sanity, every day, especially with the inception of the internet, where any and everybody could get on here and say whatever. Um, One of my favorite memes is from that of Abraham Lincoln. He had a meme, and it says, "If it's on the internet, it must be true." Now, of course, we know that when Abraham Lincoln was running around, there was no internet, right? It wasn't no TV or none of that stuff. But it's funny because a lot of people, they log onto the internet and they think, "Oh, it's got to be true." Because no, do your own research. Research, see if it's true for yourself, right? Because people going, you got to remember too, especially in the day and age of the internet, people get paid for engagement. See, they know that if they say stuff like, "Hey, we should practice group economics." Don't post those videos of women twerking all the time and fighting, and you know people doing gutter behavior. If they knew that they could post us getting after the money, building our communities, and now we'd all flock to that content, they would do that. But they know what we like. That's why you have people like Tyler Perry, who I like some of his stuff. I don't like most of it, right? I think Tyler Perry, if he knew he would make as much money, um, doing things that are depicting things that we need that would help us, I think he would do it. But see, he knows when he films debauchery and foolishness and all that, it's going to be the most watched on Netflix all the time. But I think if he knew we would support that kind of work, yeah, he would do something, you know, or produce something that would help us. So some of that is on us. And that's why, like I said, there's a lot of things I would love to talk about. I can get on here right now. I couldn't, because we wouldn't be on here long. Show some twerking, some fighting. I did, man. It was the views would probably be 1 million views. A video. I mean, you know how much people get paid for 1 million view video, man. But we're not gonna do that. We're always going to try to be uplifting, imparting wisdom, knowledge, and all that. Like I said, I can speak for myself, and I think I can speak for everybody else that I've learned. None of this stuff that I'm saying is original to me. Do I put it together differently? Yeah. But this is not original thought. I have some original thoughts, but even those original thoughts come from some of these people that I mentioned, right? And that's what you're supposed to do. Leaders inspire other people to share the knowledge, not the foolishness. We got enough foolishness in our community. And as I said to that one person, I don't even remember who it was, but I don't choose to help keep us on the plantation. I escaped the plantation. It's like Harriet Tubman. When she escaped the plantation, she didn't go back and say, "I sure missed this place." She was like, "No, not only am I going to leave, but I'm going to take somebody else with me. And I'm going to take somebody else with me. And I'm going to take and I'm going to take and I'm going to take till I can't take no more." That's what leaders do, right? So anyway, I do love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Today is our Friday. When I say our, I mean mine. I will see y'all on my show Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Time, and then back here on the African Diaspora News Channel next Tuesday at 11 a.m. In the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your week. Peace.